last year, I flew to Germany to negotiate with all the various people involved, and I met with the Brandenburg Minister of Education. This is a public meeting, so I go into his office, and there are journalists there because it's big news. American rabbi talking with the minister about creating this new school. And if I am from LA, so I think in these terms, if I were making a movie and I needed someone to play a Gestapo officer, he would have been the guy I would pick. Like I walk in and go, I don't know that I can do this. And he asks me, why am I doing this? And I said I have 3 answers. He said the first is, Germany was the home of liberal Judaism. So I'm returning a lost object. Second, it's good for the Jewish people, and I will do anything that's good for the Jewish people. Third, I said, if I can ordain rabbis in Berlin, then I feel like I'm fighting Hitler, and it means he didn't win. And the guy got tears in his eyes, and he said, that's why we're funding it. Right? That sense of that we stand up for each other across generations and around the world, that's something that this German guy admires. It's something that he thinks is noble about the Jewish people. And it is a source of our strength. It's why it was so important to United Synagogue that you be here for this. Because we really have to work to remain Amachai. So I guess what I want to open to you is not, do you want to sign up for rabbinical school? I'm happy to discuss that. What I want to talk to you about is, what does it mean for you to be part of a people? And how does that translate into the decisions you make about the activities you're involved in, the groups you support, where you spend your time, the training you get? What does that mean for you?
And I'm Fernanda. We met
Yes.
at some point.
Yes.
Well, I'm rabbinical school in Argentina.
Very nice. In the seminarium?
Yeah.
Very nice.
And I'm here as Rosh Chinuch of Noam Amlat, Noam Latin America.
Yeah.
So I guess I think thinking about like what we think about that when we decide what we're going to do is really complicated because we're dealing with so many different people. We have to think about, every time we think about any project, we have to think about how they're going to receive that in Brazil. Are they going to use it? Does it fit what they're doing, what they need? Is it going to work in Chile? Does it fit their need? Is it going to work in Argentina, which is a whole different balagan is itself?
Thank you.
So it is because there's like 15 different keilot that has different ways to do stuff. So I guess we try because now we're like this new mosquito, we're really working on trying to make at least this one identity and one way of thinking that we're all part of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really complicated.
It is really complicated.
Because they're not by themselves. And even just thinking about Noam as it is,
Right.
not talking about Noam, it called Am Yehudi, which would be
Way too
even worse.
Uh-huh.
But I think that's the main influence on what we think about project and everything is how do we make each other feel like they belong to something bigger than just their place.
I want to share a story. I remember I was 19 and I finished Taglit.
Wow.
Not so good.
We're born.
Don't record this.
I am recording this.
No, after Taglit I went alone to Europe and I didn't have so much money. And my camera broke during the trip and I decided to buy a new one. So I remember that I was in all the Europe and I didn't have money to eat. And I was 19, it was like an adventure. And for instance, I remember that I bought in McDonald's one hamburger, kosher McDonald's. And I went that the people go to drink the Coke that they left. So it was like an experience that was unusual for me. But the thing that I remember that I was sad because of all of the situation, and I wouldn't talk with my parents. I mean, I could talk with my parents, but I was old enough to deal with the situation. And I remember that I was very sad in Venice, and it was Shabbat. And I remember that I went to the synagogue, and when I started, they started to sing and do the Kabbalat Shabbat, and I feel at home. And then they invited me to have a Shabbat dinner. And I think that that was the first moment in my life that I feel the meaning of being part of a people. I mean, after that moment, my trip changed, you know? And you were talking about what it was the meaning for you, no?
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that that experience showed me that I wasn't alone in that moment. And maybe I didn't know the people that were with me, but I shared something with them, you know? And we were talking the same language in the same moment, and in a way, we feel the same in that Shabbat.
It's beautiful. It's great. I ordained the first rabbi for East Africa, a man named Gershom Sizamo, who was part of the Abu Udaya tribe in eastern Uganda, in Nabago.